Hello everybody, we're back here again on this massive oak tree. So we're gonna try and bomb as much as we can, but we're not gonna go crazy over it. We got everything from the hard side over the building done yesterday, and so today should be pretty quick and easy, and hopefully we'll be done by lunchtime. Gonna take it right up on a GRCS first thing, should be good. All right. Oh, this is so much easier. Stop. I just gotta take a break. I can't pull the rope through hard on the shoulders. Man, this tree is huge. I've said it too many times, but okay, I'm ready to go again. My rope tail gets heavy when I'm up this high. It takes a little bit extra energy. Okay, stop. Perfect. Let me get my weight onto my climbing line here. Okay, I'm all support on my climbing line, so you can take the rope off the winch down there. And I would go ahead and say that you can take the winch off and put the bollard back on. And if you could tuck the winch away somewhere, that'd be perfect. I really don't think we'll need them for today. Wow, the sun's shining across the valley because the sun's behind us this morning, and it looks really nice looking out across there. So the first thing we have this morning is this top. It leans that direction, which would have been back into that other part of the tree, but now it's not there. So I could free fall it and could probably pretty reliably get into that brush pile down there, but it's close enough to the building and we're falling into a pile, and there's enough unpredictable things down there that I don't feel good about doing that. It's also really wide this way, and so if something were to not crush right when it hit the ground, it could spring itself into the building. So we're just gonna go for the good old reliable rig, you know, when in doubt, rope it out. So we got the rope on there. My ground man is ready, and we're gonna notch it and send it in that hole, and it'll swing down, and it's gonna go exactly to plan. At least as exactly the plan as I can pull off anyway. Here we go. Look at that, a perfect notch. Woo, baby. Nice run, John. Nice run. We made this tree talk a little bit. She's doing the sign language. So you'll notice that was a triangle hinge too on that one. John was talking to me yesterday, or talking to me this morning, telling me that yesterday he noticed that some of my hinges have this triangle shape. And what that is there's two things going on. Sometimes it's me trying to leave as much wood on the top side of a hinge that's got indifferent force on one side and the other. And sometimes it's me just setting the saw where I can see it, you know, making sure I know where this is and bringing that dimension up to whatever point it is that the tree starts to move. You know, sometimes it ends up working out nice and parallel, sometimes it ends up being like this. It's really not a great thing because too fat of a hinge can sometimes lead to other problems, such as sapwood tearing out and things like that. But it was interesting to observe, and so probably something I should maybe even change up a little bit, maybe be a little bit more attentive to the angle of my face cut and just coming in parallel to it. I didn't have great experience free falling stuff yesterday, so we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna just start and try by taking smaller pieces. So I think this one we'll try and get it to fall butt first. Nice. I'll give John some things to cut down there. He can practice his felling techniques. There, that that was a lot straighter fall. Oh no. That is a good sound, a solid piece of wood hitting the ground. Last one worked out pretty good, dicing it up and letting it fall in little pieces, so we'll do that again with this one. I feel like I say this a lot, but for me, I don't do this every single day. You know, I'm not climbing every single day. I'm not always in big trees, especially. In fact, I feel like it's a little bit of a rare occasion for me that I get to do a big tree. I feel like it's good to just take on every day with the mindset of, it sounds too cliche to say every single opportunity to learn, but when you're not 100% certain about something, do something a little bit easier first, see how it goes, and then use what you see in that experience to determine whether or not you can do that thing that you were a little less comfortable with. And it just seems like that works out decently for me. For those of us that don't have, you know, 80 years of experience under our belt anyway, it probably works out pretty good. John down there was just saying that the adage of climbing high and cutting small is well-founded, and he's absolutely right. Small pieces, small problems is another one I've heard too, and that's 100% on target. Hey, Evan's here. Alrighty, we'll see if this first limb will break off a big dead limb that might hang up our bigger piece here. There must have been a little bit of sapwood that hung onto the bottom of the cut there, and it just tucked it right under us. This one is really far over towards that red oak. I'm going to try and make kind of an angled box cut here to try to get this butt to come off as fast as possible and get to shoot down through there. We'll see. Yeah, it worked out good. We sacrificed a couple sprouts in that tree, but it'll come out of it. I think maybe John's just tired of me trying to rig stuff all the time. Wants me to just send it off. That's fair enough. I made him rig plenty of stuff yesterday. That was a thump. That was a good one. You know, we're kind of in a forest setting here. We really don't care about turf damage, but I still don't want to tear up the forest floor any more than necessary, so that way other stuff can grow up here after we're done. So that's why I put the extra effort in, which really wasn't that much effort, into making an angled cut of sorts to try and get that to land flat. Alrighty, I'm starting to feel a little more confident in my cuts now. So we're gonna send this limb whole. I don't know if you can see it past the sunshine, but it reaches out and the tips will probably just strike those trees over there, and that'll kick the butt down under, and there's plenty of space for it to land. Wow, that broke apart in an interesting way. I also didn't get my cuts lined up, so it didn't come off of the stub very nice. Alright, Alrighty, we are over here in the far side of the tree now from where we were making those last cuts. This stuff kind of hangs out over some branches on this other tree here, and so I think there's a decent chance they'll get hung up. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna tie a rope onto it while we can still reach it. And that way, if it does get hung up, we've got, you know, a way to try and wiggle it free. Now, there is a chance that the rope will become a part of why it gets hung up, but I'd rather take that risk than having to go down there and untangle it or something. So, John, I think to keep the rope in the best path possible to keep the rope from getting stuck, could you go like past the GRCS towards the building with it on that side of the tree? If it holds that direction a little bit, it'll stay. Yeah, I think that'll give us our best chance at things making it all the way down. Okay, I'm gonna cut a little bit of a hinge, so that way hopefully it kind of dives over that other branch. Oh, I did get stuck. We gambled correctly. Nice, and that was a super easy solution to that problem. That worked out good. We'll do it again. We're good for the first one. This one's a little bit bigger, but we're gonna do the same thing. All right, it made it all the way down, and the rope still ended up over the branch, but that's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Oh, the rope's almost too short. Yeah, that would be potentially problematic. Turn around from this piece, we're gonna get these tops out here. They've got a pretty clear path, so I'm gonna send them with what I expect to be no consequences. Went nice. That one even landed flat. Take a step down and cut this below the union. I like to do that whenever I get a chance. It gives me more hinge wood to work with and a couple other things sometimes if you want them. That was interesting. I overcut the hinge because I expected it to go under its own weight and it didn't. It only had about that much holding on. It was enough, but it wasn't right. The wood pieces are way easier to get through the brush, but with these being oak trees that are around us, a lot of the brush is pretty stiff and it'll actually, you know, influence the direction that a piece of wood falls pretty hard. So I'm still gonna try and miss the other brush there. Nice. I don't like reaching over my saw, but I only did it because I shut it off first, and that gave me a little bit of peace of mind. thinking, Zach, you could have sent that whole big piece of wood in one shot and saved a bunch of time. And you're right, that might have worked. I just didn't feel good about it. And sometimes that's enough reason to avoid doing something. And so here we are, cutting a few smaller pieces. It ain't taking that much longer. We're still gonna get to go to lunch, and we'll have done a little bit better job in the meantime. That's very interesting how that one rotated. We are way high for a piece of that size, that length, to land flat, but it still did. It didn't get very much of a snap action when it came off the stump, off the stub here. And so it kind of rotated slower, I think is what happened. Okay, I guess the thing to do now is to go over there and work on that rigging spar. Alrighty, so what we're gonna do here is we're not gonna need this rigging system anymore. So I'm going to take our redirect block off here and I'm gonna let it slide down the rope to John. He's gonna stand way far away. If he thinks it's gonna come close to him, he's gonna drop the rope so it doesn't hit him, but it's way faster and way easier than letting it down. And do you wanna back up a good way so that way even the rope touches some brush on that other tree? Okay, here it comes. Bonk. Nice work. Alrighty, if you saw part one where we rigged out that whole half of the tree over the building there, you would have seen where we rigged some really big stuff off of this limb. And especially here, I can almost touch around, but even down here, it's not very big of a piece. I mean, we sent some pieces that were way bigger in diameter than this on this rigging point. And the reason we were able to do that is, again, I mean, I said it in the last video, but I just want to say it again. It's all about the setup. If you can set this rope up to swing the blocks, that way the load is going straight down the stem, it will be so much stronger than if you just have the rope going straight down to the porter wrap and straight back up to the block, especially on a branch that's leaned out like this. And so that block over there that we had set up was a key component to everything working out. I definitely would have not rigged out some nearly as big of stuff as we did yesterday if I hadn't set things up exactly the way I did. All right, we got our rigging system down. That was pretty easy, just also pretty boring, so I didn't show you. Now we're gonna cut off this piece, and then I think we can send this one this big, so. Wasn't bad, but I didn't like it. How that last one caught that limb down there and it pushed it towards the building. I'm gonna go down and remove that limb before I take this top. And I know that's a lot of extra work, but I put even more work into not hitting that building this whole project, so I'm not gonna risk that record now. Alrighty, we're way out on this big limb and it's still got a long bit that's ahead of us, but we're out here far enough, I think I can cut it and feel pretty good about it. And send it right down between those trees out there. And my rope's kind of a mess here because I drug my tail through that crotch up there so I can get back up there pretty easy. You're not supposed to drag tail with this thing because the up pressure on the pulley will collapse the device, but adding a little carabiner here takes that pressure off, makes it really nice. If you didn't know that trick, you do now. I didn't come up with that, somebody else did. I think he's like Trevi or somebody on Instagram. Okay, here we go. worked out pretty good. We got a nice hinge in there. I didn't have any nasty tearing, breaking, and snapping. And you can see from my position change how much this limb lifted, but it still lifted fairly gentle, which was also nice. So that was definitely the way to go with that. It did land tips first and bounce back, but that wasn't critical in this situation. Probably do the same thing with the rest of this, huh?